And in HTML, we need to add those inputs in a form. So generally, you want to do form like so. And in the form, you want to have all of your inputs. So first, I'll start by just adding form, and then I'll add input like so. And I'll make a copy of this input. Now, here is something. So form has opening and closing tag. So these are called tags. So it has opening tag and it has closing tag. Then I have input, which seems a bit different. This is because input is self-closing tag. I mean, it doesn't have a closing tag. So there will be some HTML tags which has opening and closing tag, whereas some will be self-closing tag, such as inputs. Now, in inputs or in every HTML tag, we can add attributes. An attribute is something that gives further information about that HTML tag. For example, in my input, I can give, I can add attribute called type, where I can add different types of attributes such as button, checkbox, color, and date, and so on. One that we are looking for is type text. And basically, this is going to kind of look like a username where you have the input, and whatever you type, you will be able to see them. And I want to give a name to my input as well. So I will give a name called username. And then I want to add another input, but this time its type is not going to be text. Its type is going to be password. Now, this is because we don't want anyone to see what password we're typing, right? Because you could have someone standing right behind you looking what you're typing, and they might, well, try to log in using your account next time. So that is something I definitely don't want to happen for myself. So I will set my type as password. Finally, what I want to do is I want to have a button called sign up. So I can say button, and now in HTML file, if I just do button, hit tab, it will automatically create this HTML tag so that I don't have to write everything. So here I can just say sign up, because this is a sign up page. Next step is to see how this looks like. So I can head over here, and this is what my sign in page looks like. So I have input, which is type text, and then I have another input, which is type password. So as you can see, no one will be able to see what I'm typing now. Now, there are a few other things that you could add. For example, if you don't want your sign up button to be on the same line, and if you want it to be then in the next line, you could do that. Or when we just look at the input, doesn't make sense, right? Which one is username, which one is password? So you could choose to add placeholder, or you could choose to add a label. So label would be like adding a text before the input. Placeholder would be those gray thing that you see in the input box. So I can start by adding a placeholder called username, and add a placeholder called password. And now when I go back, you should see username and password, and it makes more sense, right? Now you have an idea where you need to enter username and where you need to enter password. Finally, I have the sign up button. If you want this to be in the next line, you can add this HTML tag called BR, and all it does is it's going to break the line, meaning your button will start in another line. So now here, this looks like there is no gap. So you can add multiple line break, meaning it's going to add a little bit of space. And it looks like this is what I am looking for. And now when I enter my username and password, and when I click on sign up, I want to be taken to, well, another page, which is a login page. So for now, let's start with creating our web server before I move on to another file. So let me start by creating my web server, and I will just name it as app.js. This is going to create a JavaScript file where I can start writing JavaScript code. Now, when you're working with a web server, you have to install a few modules. So modules are basically code written by other people, which will help us save a lot of time. So because I don't want today's session to be like, let's say 4 hours long or 5 hours long, I will install a few package. For this example, I can just install one package, which is called Express. But before I install them, I need to do a few setups. So this is just me setting up to install my Express package. So I can say npm install Express, and this is basically helping me install this Express package so that I can start using them. Now, what I need to do is when you want to create a server, right now I'm opening it using 1.0. So this is also the server. So it's called live server, right? So it's VS Code, which is hosting my server. But I don't want VS Code to host the server. I want to create my own server and host this page. So if you want to do that, then, well, you'll have to see how to do it. So what I will do is I installed Express module. Now I want to require this Express module so that I can use this module in my file. So here I have required my Express module, and I need to do a few setup before I'm actually able to use this package or module. So I can say const app equals to Express. And well, before I move on, why don't I explain what's happening here? Now here, I'm basically creating a variable called Express, and I'm storing this Express module value in this Express variable. So this is same as doing, let's say, A equals to 2, or let's say B equals to 3. But when we are working with JavaScript, we need to add a keyword before the variable name. Now, there is let and there is const. Now, both of them do the same thing, but we use const if we don't want data to change. We use let if we want data to change. What about I do this? To make things simple, I will just use let. And just think let is a keyword that I need to include before every variable when I'm writing it for the first time. And what do I need to do next? Well, I need to now create a route handler where I can host my index.html file. So in order to do that, I will say app, and then here I'll say if the user is requesting this HTML file, is this a GET request, post, put, or delete request? So before I type anything out, I want you guys to let me know if the user is requesting this index.html file, are they making a GET request or a post request, put, or delete? So you can type in the chat to let me know. So let's see. James, amazing. So James, and we have Sanchit, who says like GET. So fantastic. So we have done it. So we have now created our very first route handler, and here we will say that whenever someone goes to home page, so by home page I mean the landing page. So whenever you go to, let's say, accelerate.co, or you go to facebook.com, instagram.com, that's the home page. So when they go to home page, I want to kind of call this function. So function is kind of saying like what should happen when someone goes to the home page. And this function will have two things: request and response. And the request is the request that is been sent by the user. So the user will send request, and well, in this case, they are sending a request to get this HTML page. So when the user is sending a request, we want to send a response back to the user. So in order to send a response, I will say response. And what kind of response do I want to send? Do I want to send a text to a user, or do I want to send an HTML file? Well, I want to send HTML file. So I can say I want to send file, and I cannot just put this index.html here. I need to give like a full path. And in order to give a full path, I have to do __dir name. So dir name is basically a path from my root directory to my current directory. And then I will say dir name / index.html. Now, this could be confusing, right? So what I will do is I'll print this dir name. So console.log is print. So this is going to help you print stuff. So before I move on, I just wanted to show you what dir name would look like. So I will say node app.js, and this is what it's going to print. So my dir name is /mnt/d/accelerate API /web server 2. So this is the path from my root directory to my current directory, as you can see here. And then I'm basically saying I'm adding a slash, and I'm giving my, well, index.html file name so that it can send this index.html file to my client. So what's the next step here? Well, we are very close. We are very close to hosting our very own API server. So finally, you have to do app.listen to create a web server. So we are creating our computer is going to be our server. And because we are not hosting our server online, our server is going to be referred to as localhost. And the localhost will have multiple ports. So I need to say which port do I want to listen to. Now, usually port numbers could range from like 3000 to like 8000. Generally it's 3000, 80, 4000. But in this case, I just want to listen to port 3000, and I could just leave it to 3000 and then it would work. So now when I do enter, as you can see, it's stuck here. So let's see if I'm able to host my index.html file. So I can do that by going to localhost :3000. And as you can see, when I go to, well, my homepage, so localhost 3000 is my homepage. It's same as doing Instagram.com. And when I go to homepage, as you can see, I'm able to get H1. I'm able to get all of my content. And pretty cool. Now here, it does not say anything. So what I can do is I can add a second value to my app.listen, which is also going to be a function. And here I can simply say that listening to port, let's say 3000, because I am listening to port 3000. So when I run my file again by doing node.js, it's going to tell me it's listening to port 3000 so that I can know which port am I listening to. Now this isn't necessary, but it generally it helps you kind of know. All right. Now we are able to, well, get the first thing done, that is, well, host our sign up page. But what's next? Why don't we create a login page, and we will say that when the user clicks on sign up after filling information, they will be taken to login page. So I will create another file. Let's say this is called login.html. And then because I know my index, well, my login page is going to look very close or similar to sign up page, I can copy everything that's in my index.html page. I can paste the same code here. There will be only a few differences, such as instead of welcome to home page, I can say welcome to login page. And then let's say, instead of let's sign in, let's say, please log in. Please log in. And here, let's say instead of sign in, let's sign up, right? That would make more sense. Oh, so I have. Okay, I have a comment saying, I enjoy your webinar, but I couldn't follow till the end because I'm work. Please send me a video copy, so I should go through it. So Georgina, I guess you're recording it, correct? And is it possible to send videos to our student? I will let you know if that is possible, and I will be more than happy to send this recording to you so that you can follow along, well, once you go home. Okay, now let's just go to our login page. The only difference is that we change a few text here instead of sign up. Let's have a login. And now let's host this file as well. So how do we host it? Well, it's very similar to this one. So I will copy and paste, and I will say that when someone goes to localhost 3000/login, then I want to send them the login file. So I will say login.html, and at the end, well, I don't need to do anything else. So what's going to happen here is when I go to localhost 3000, I will get this sign up page. When I go to /login, I will get, okay, looks like I'm not getting login page. So I might have done something wrong here. So it says cannot get /login. Okay, that is because whenever I make changes to my code, I need to restart my server. Now, there is a way to prevent this. We do need to install another module called Nodemon and called my app.js. And what this will do is every time I make changes to my code, it's going to automatically restart my server. So now instead of me getting cannot get /login, I should get the login page, like so. And here looks like I have a typo here. I do not need to in. But as you can see, hosting two files is pretty simple. And what's the final part? Let's say I want to have a secret page. A secret page could be when you successfully log in, you will be taken to the secret page. So I can create this secret job. Oh, well, it's HTML file. So I'll simply do HTML. And here, I'll basically create my boilerplate by doing exclamation mark. And then let's just add a heading which says, welcome to my secret page. And then I'll add a paragraph. So paragraph is going to be small, like a normal paragraph in an article. So I will say you have logged in successfully. All right. And let's say I only want to send this page if the user clicks on the login button by entering correct information. Now, all I need to do is, well, copy and paste and just say secret, and then just say secret.html. So now when I go to secret.html, I should be able to get secret page. Now here, just because I want to show you how secret page would look like, I'm just going to /secret. But let's, make this thing kind of interact with each other. Like we have inputs, we have these inputs, right? And we have, what I want to do is when a user signs up, I want to store their information somewhere. Now, I could store it in a database, but that would consume a lot of time. To simplify things, I will store it in an array. So array is basically a container. So just think array is like your spreadsheet where you have like multiple columns and multiple rows, which stores all of your data. So I can say let users is equal to, well, an empty array. and this is where I want to store username as well as password. Now, before okay, so looks like the recording will be available after the event. Please keep an eye on the post event. Amazing. So Sanchez has said that about Node.js. Should I download the recommended version? For most users are one that says latest feature. I would recommend you make use of the recommended one, and that's what I use as well. So recommended one should give you all of the required features. The latest one will give you some additional features, but you won't probably use it anytime soon. So, all right. Well, I want to be able to get the input sent by the user, because right now, when the user signs up, I'm taken to my sign up page, and it has this view thing. I want to be taken to my login page. So let's do that. I need to head over to now index.html, and here I need to set up a few more things. In my form, I need to have an attribute called action, specifying where do I want to post. So just like when the user requests, when the user goes to / we give them index.html. When they go to /login, we give them index.html page. Just like that. That was get request, but now users are posting something. So they are posting their username and password. So I need to say that I want to make a post request to sign up. Now this endpoint can be anything, but it would make more sense to have sign up because we are, well, working on a sign up page. And here I need to add another thing, which is method. So it is HTTP method. So here I need to say that I am making a post request. So what's next? So here, whenever I enter username and password, I guess I might have to do a few things. Now, whenever I make changes to HTML file, my server will not restart. It only restarts when I make changes to my JavaScript file. So now when I type things, it will tell me that cannot post to /sign up. This is because we don't have a route handler to handle the post request. So what I need to do is I need to go down, and now I need to say app.post. And here I want to handle the post request to /sign up. So here I can say request response. Now, generally, when I code, I like to use res, req, and res, just as a short version of request and response. So just so that you know what's happening here. Now, when the user is making a post request, they will send all of the information as part of the request. So request is the request made by the user, response is the response we will send to the user. Now, when the user clicks on sign up after inputting their username and password, our backend should be able to grab those information. Now, to grab your data that is sent through posting in a form, I will have to use a middleware which is going to kind of grab all of the information. Now, it's called app.use and express.url encoded. Just kind of think that this is a way of capturing data that is being sent to us from our front end. Now that I have this code, I will be able to capture data sent by the front end. So to do that, I have to go to my app.post sign up, and the user will be sending me username and password. So I will create a variable called username to capture the username. And here I need to say that request.body. Request.body is referring to the request that is being sent by our front end, and user. So we have two inputs here. in our form, and our inputs have a name, username, and password. So whenever some data is sent through input from front end, we can capture them with the help of their name attribute, which is username and password here. So here I can say request.body.username to capture the username, and then I can say request.body.password to capture the password. Now to kind of show you it's actually working, I could console log username and password. So now when the user posts something, now it will still say cannot post, or well, it will get this. Right, so just going to keep on scrolling. But when I go back to my VS Code, I should see on these two, although this kind of looks not that but let's just Sam 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this makes more sense for username and password. So we are able to successfully get both username and password. What's the next step? Well, the next step is to store those username and password here in our users array. Now, we don't want to just store it, like, let's say username Sam and password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It makes really difficult for us to kind of verify if the username and password is correct. So we will be making use of object. So I think object is like each row in your spreadsheet. So your object is going to look like this. It will have like username and store value like Sam, like so. Then it will have like another. So just think the one on the left is the column name, and this is the column value of one particular row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like so. And when we have multiple users, it's going to store like this. And maybe this has like some other name, like so. And this way, we will be able to store multiple user information. So that I've shown you how that would look like. I'm going to show you how we can store it. And so to store it, I'll have to call users array, which is that container. Then I'll have to push information. So I want to push username and password. So I'll simply say username, comma, password. In this way, I'm passing an object where the key is, well, the column name is username, and the value is actually going to be the value of the username, which is Sam. And then for the password key, column name will be password, value will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now that I have stored the information in my users array, what I want to do is I want to redirect the user to my login page, because right now I get this thing which keeps on scrolling, or well, it keeps on spinning. So I will just say res.redirect, meaning I want to redirect the user to another page. So I want to redirect them to /login. What this does is it's going to make a GET request to /login, which in response will redirect me to this, well, login page. So let's see how that would work. So now when I click sign up, it should take me to login page, and login page looks like this. Now with login, what I need to do is I want to send user to secret page once they have logged in. So I need to have another post request, this time for my login page. That is because in my login page, I'm making a post request as well. In here, it's going to be exactly the same in terms of attribute name, but the value would be, let's say, login, because we're making a post request to login, and our method is going to be post, because we want to post something. Now here in my app.post, I have a request for login. And here I'm capturing username and password. That is because in my login page, the name value is exactly same. So I'm able to reuse the exact same code. And here, I don't want to push, so I need to remove these two lines of code. I need to now kind of verify if the username and the password, this is the username and password entered by the user, is correct. So I want to check the username and password the user entered with the data that I have in my container. So I will use this sum method, which is going to loop over my container and check if the username and password matches with either one of the object or one of the rows in a column, if I want to explain it in a general term. Here I will say that before I do that, yeah, I can just do let result equals to users dot sum. We do have a question here. Oh, okay, just a feedback form. And yeah, hope you guys are enjoying so far. Now, I am showing you things that is a bit more advanced because I want to kind of have a proper application ready for this event. But later, once you learn how to code, these things should be like as simple as well, bread. It should be like bread and butter to you. So users is this container, which is an array. Now, if I do users.sum, it's going to loop over every element in my container. So I had like here like object like this, which has like user, let's say Sam, and like some other user. So it's going to loop over each container, and when it loops over each container, I will add like an object here. This object here is going to refer to each object from the container. So when it's looping for the first time, it's going to be user Sam. When it's looping for the second time, it's going to refer to, well, user ABC. So here I will loop over each object, and I will say that if object.username is equal to, so this, when I do triple equals to, I'm comparing the value on the left with the value on the right. And I need to say if both username and password is correct, I want to return true, else I want to return false. So this is ampersand refers to and sign. So it's like if it's rainy and the weather is cold, then you like do this and do that. So if the username matches and the password matches, then I want to return true. Else, if one of them does not match, I want to return false, because I don't want to return true if one of them match. It should return true if both of them match. And now this result will store either true or false based on if, well, if this condition was true or false. Now, after this, what I need to do is I need to have another condition, which says like, if the result is true, I want to redirect my user to the secret page. Else, I want to redirect the user to, let's say, well, I can say I don't want to redirect the user to somewhere else. I just want to send them HTML code which says wrong information or wrong username and password. I can do that by doing rest.write, which will allow me to send HTML code. So here I can say I want to send a paragraph tag which says incorrect username or password. And then I want to send them a link which will take them to login page. So I can say rest.write. Let me send them. So I'm going to use a single quotation here because I will be using double quotation down here. So I'm going to send this anchor tag, which is going to say login slash login page. Now, anchor tag is like the link that you see. So, for example, when you search for something on Google, cat, you will see these links. So these are anchor tags. So I'm creating this link tag, and I'm saying that when they click on the link, I want to take them to login page, like so. And now rest.write is basically sending a HTML page as a response. And finally, I need to do rest.end to end my response. So after I have sent them this HTML code, I want to end my response. Now, let's see if it works. Let's start with our home page. Let's say Sam. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sign up. I'll get this. If I do Sam in login page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I am now inside my secret page. Welcome to my secret page. You have logged in successfully. But let's say I went back to my login page and I typed some other names, such as, let's say, Andy, and let's say 1, 2, 3. When I click on login, it will take me to this page, which says incorrect username or password. So now I can click on login page. It will take me back to a login page where I can just do Sam 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm able to sign in. Now, this is obviously a simple way of showing authentication. This isn't how you would do it in a real world, but today's event was just to show you about web servers. Now, you probably didn't understand like some of them, but this is something that you will be able to do once you learn how to code. So this should kind of like show you what you can do once you learn how to code. And this is just a start. You can do a lot of other things once you actually get to know code. And well, I hope you enjoy the code. And yeah, so this will be it for today's session. I hope you found this session helpful. Yeah, feel free to give us feedback on how did you like this event, and yeah, let me know if you have any other questions.
Thank you, Bibek. That was a great workshop. I'm sure we all learned a little more today. For those who are interested in what we do at Accelerate,